Here just a couple of days ago, I posted a video on, at least to me, a newly discovered way to grind for great ones. Some things have been going around the community that apparently people have been talking about this for years. I've learned so much more since I made that video, and as much as I'd like to remake it, people are going to tell me that I'm copy-pasting, and that's obviously not something you want as a content creator. I figured the best thing for me to do right now is probably going to be to make a video on the #1 most asked question in my comment section. Now, there's actually two, and we're going to talk about both of those, but we're going to focus on the predetermined zone confusion. So many people are confused about that whole predetermined zone thing. I didn't understand it fully at the time of recording that video. We're going to clear up a little bit of stuff about where I got the information from, and we're out here today in the beautiful map of Silver Ridge Peaks on the Black Bear grind, working towards Extreme HM. So without further ado, guys, if you are ready for today's video, definitely let me know down below by smashing that like button and subscribing, as it is very, very much appreciated. And as a 16-year-old content creator, my goal by the end of 2026 is 50,000 subscribers. We are on track to absolutely crush that goal. As long as we keep growing the way we are, we should have about 100k by deer season. That's if the numbers stay where they are right now and where they've been for the last 4 months. Much love to you guys, much love to the Squid Gang. Wasting no more of you guys' time, let's go ahead and dive right into it. Alright, Squid Gang, so first and foremost, let's get a little bit of a recap here before we dive into actually the details. I would like to tell you guys what this whole predetermined zone thing is, real quick, just in a nutshell. Just a little bit of a recap, and for maybe people that didn't get the chance to see that video in the way that I explained it, just so that way you guys don't gotta go watch those videos, let's just do a quick little explanation right now. So frankly, what I said in that video is the very first time that you launch your map, before you even shoot an animal on it, there's a predetermined zone where a great one will spawn. This is still true, there's no way to tell where this zone is, and it is completely random. And in my video, I kind of, hinted towards this predetermined zone being completely random, and there's no way to move it. And there are so many of you guys confused in my comment section, asking me about this predetermined zone thing, as it makes no sense. Why would great ones spawn in main zones consistently? Now, all of the information in this video that I'm about to tell you has came straight from the mouth of my good friend Mac over in my Discord server. If you want to learn more about this whole deal, join my Discord server and go follow Mac on Twitch and YouTube. The guy is an absolute monster. I'm just here to explain it to you in Squidster brain. So many of you guys were just like almost confronting me like this makes no sense. The video was clickbait. That's what the haters will say. The video wasn't clickbait. The video had a ton of true information in it from several different sources, including this comment on screen for you guys right now, which I later discovered was from my friend JBizHunt's comment section. I originally thought that it was a post from Twitter, which me using information from that comment section without crediting him led to a whole bunch of drama and the upload timing of our videos. So much drama. This has just been chaos, bro. I'm just trying to get the information to y'all. I was sent a screenshot. You guys can see it. It's heavily cropped. My manager was sent this screenshot. We didn't know where it came from. My good friend Mac, again, go check him out. He's where most of this information comes from, and he's the reason that I even understood that screenshot and what was being talked about in it. We were given information. I put it all inside of this Google document in the most terrible, unorganized way, but, you know, I can understand it because I wrote it, and I know what thoughts were in the back of my brain when I wrote those sentences. And from that point, I just made a dang video and I was dragged into all this drama. But, you know, I figured I really need to clear this up for you guys because there's literally been like 200 comments in the last couple hours asking about this predetermined zone thing. So, now that that's out of the way, in order to understand how the predetermined zone works, you need to understand how the weight variable works. Now, in that video, if you guys watched it enough, you guys would understand that there's a very specific number that needs to be met for the great one to spawn. And what that number is the average weight of every single animal on your map, or every single male of the species that you're grinding for on your map. So if it's a black bear have a great one. In order for the great one to spawn, the average number of the weight, not the weight estimate, the final harvest screen weight number, which is predetermined. Every single male that's alive on your map right now has this number predetermined. It's just a matter of you discovering it when you pick up the harvest. It's this average number here of every single male on your map added up into one number, or averaged up into one number. Now, I am passing algebra with a D, don't ask me how to do that, but I am a game dev and this makes so much sense. This pretty much explains why great ones are so rare, especially because there's so much pointing towards that average number of all the weights on your map being small. Now, just one thing I want to clear up before we dive back into that predetermined zone thing. It's not the average weight of every single male on your map. Again, it's just your male great one species. So if you're hunting whitetail, the average weight of every single male whitetail on your map. Hopefully that clears that chunk of it up. And in the sense of that predetermined zone where the great one's going to spawn at, the biggest question that you guys have and the biggest reason that you guys aren't believing that video, despite the fact that I have several friends that have hundreds of great ones from using this, not even this method, grind by weight, grind by score has been out for years. I just realized it existed here a couple days ago, and I feel like you guys, or at least 90% of you that maybe just started playing the game or aren't super into great one grinding, didn't realize this existed, so that's why I'm here. The biggest question you guys have is, if there is a predetermined zone where the great one is going to spawn at on your map, which there is, there's no way around that. The biggest thing going around my comment section is, how do great ones spawn in main zones? And people are refusing to believe that it's pure luck, and you have the right to. It is not pure luck. In fact, this predetermined zone, this predetermined seed where the great one's going to spawn at, moves. And we're going to talk about why here in just a second. First and foremost, the best theory, without any actual hard proof, what if, and actually this is true, when we're shooting males, when we're doing our great one grind, if that predetermined zone is in an exterior, what if that predetermined zone, frankly, plays musical chairs with other zones, and eventually it gets to a point of where it automatically goes to the zones that are being hunted the heaviest. That is explanation one. That makes so much sense. And that is actually what happens, in a way. It does happen simply just by shooting males, and you can get a great one to spawn simply just by shooting males. But also, take note of this. When you herd manage your exterior zones, you fill every single zone to the zone cap with non-shooters. For fallow deer, for example, for what I'm doing, every single exterior has non-shooter bucks in it. So every single exterior has bucks with a maximum estimate of below 130. All of my herd zones and exteriors, and if you're herd managed properly, should be close to, if not, zone capped. We're going to talk about a zone cap here in just a second once I clear up solos and predators like the black bear. When you herd manage your black bear, or when you herd manage any predator that is only solo zones, which 99% of predators are, all of your exterior lakes are simply just non-shooter solos. So for me, it's eventually going to be all level 3 black bears and below because I'm using extreme herd management for all my grinds now. And there's no way to zone cap a solo zone, which is exactly what black bears are. At least as far as I'm aware. I've heard some things about, like, you can get a bunch of females in one zone and then that can zone cap, but that's a different thing. You can't zone cap with males because every male's a solo for black bear. And before I tell you guys what actually happens when your zone caps, you first have to understand what a zone cap is. A zone cap, let's use the fallow deer for example, because everyone does that grind. It's super easy to do and super easy to understand. A zone cap is when there's a limit, or the limit, of males met in a drink zone, or a feed zone. It's not really the zone, it's the herd of animals that are using that zone. Obviously this doesn't happen to solos, because solos are solos. For the fallow deer, I believe it is 5 or 6 males. Once you get over 5 males in a zone, or maybe once you get over 6 males in a zone, I don't remember the exact number, I'd have to ask my buddy. What happens is the zone will break. Now, if to say for example the number were 6, if you had 6 bucks in one zone, and a 7th one were to try to spawn there, what would happen is the zone would break. And what I mean by breaking is some of the bucks in that zone will jump out as solos. Some of the bucks in that zone will jump to other drink zones that don't have very many bucks in them. And what happens in the game's actual programming when the zone cap is met on a predetermined Great One zone where the Great One was going to spawn, is that predetermined seed, or the seed in the herd that the Great One's going to spawn. I know this is complicated, but work with me, guys. In simpler terms, the zone where the Great One was predetermined to spawn at moves. And where does it move to? The zones that are being hunted the heaviest. So the herd of animals that has the Great One seed in it plays musical chairs around your map. Not necessarily the herd, but just the Great One itself plays musical chairs around your map invisibly, until eventually, it's forced to spawn in your main zones. And there is a way to force that predetermined Great One zone into your main zones, and the way to do that is herd managing. And you're probably wondering to yourself, why would HM do that? It's not because you have a bunch of small animals on your map, although that will help, and we're going to talk about that here in just a second. As you can probably assume, that will help you reach that predetermined weight variable, which is quite obviously a small number. The reason that it would go to your main zones is one of these two reasons. Either A, because it automatically goes to zones that are hunted the heaviest, which would make sense, or B, because when you herd manage, the zone cap is met on every single zone that you're not set up on, aka all of your exterior zones. The zone cap is met on at least 90% of them with small non-shooter animals. So if the Great One were to spawn, it couldn't spawn in any of those zones because they're all capped out with tiny animals. And all of your solos, as long as you herd managed properly, are all non-shooters. There's no more solos that can jump out, although every once in a while you do have the common jumper, your typical jumper solo, and that might explain why Great Ones spawn as solos all the time. Not all the time, I've only had it happen once, but it does happen. It does happen, because there's going to be people going down there and, Squid, how do Great Ones spawn as solos then? If you're not fully herd managed, maybe you're just like right on the verge of being fully herd managed, that could be why. Or it could have also been pure luck in the fact that your Great One was a predetermined solo zone, which we know is possible because every single male black bear on your map is a solo zone. That could also explain why Great Ones spawn as solos so much. I say so much as I've had it happen once, but what I'm saying is there's a lot of people in my Discord who've had it happen. And I've seen a lot of comments asking why it happens, so clearly you guys are having it happen. So there's a number of reasons why Great Ones just spawn in main zones, and there's also a number of reasons why they would spawn in exterior zones. If you're working on herd managing your map and you're shooting and claiming males in exterior zones, all that would need to happen is the weight variable to be met. That number that I told you guys about at the beginning, the average weight of every male on your map, that specific variable would just need to be met. That's literally it. And if your map isn't herd managed and a lot of your exteriors have no zone caps, or you're making the mistake of maybe not rotating your main zones enough while herd managing, the Great One can very well spawn in an exterior zone. Something that I see a lot of people do while they're herd managing is focus more on their exteriors than your mains, while you should be doing the direct opposite. You should always rotate on your mains twice as much as you rotate on your exterior zones. The reason for this is because there's a really good chance that that predetermined zone where the Great One's going to spawn goes to the zones that are hunted the most heavily on the map. So you always want to keep your main zones the most heavily hunted areas. Despite your grind, that is what you want to do. Second of all, Great Ones commonly spawn in exterior zones because people claim all their males. Something that I've started doing, and more credit to my friend Mac for explaining this to me, in exterior zones, and this makes it easier to shoot them down too, don't claim your males, only claim males in the main zones, so that way it's frankly impossible for the Great One to spawn in your exterior zones. Mac has been grinding and doing Extreme HM for a very long time, and he's never had a Great One spawn in an exterior. Wild, bro. I've had like 4. So in conclusion, it is definitely not luck. It's not just luck, my Frenchmans, that your Great One is spawning in your main zones. That predetermined zone where the Great One's going to spawn at is somewhere completely random when you launch your map, and it plays musical chairs around your map, especially as you're herd managing, until eventually it just locks into the zones that are being hunted the most. It's not the fact that you're shooting and claiming males in your main zones and one of those males decided to come back as a Great One off of pure RNG. It is still RNG, but it's advanced RNG. There is a predetermined zone. There's no way to find out what that zone is, but what there is a way to find out is what that predetermined weight variable is. And that's for a whole nother video. I might be doing a collaboration with someone on this. I'm not entirely sure. I don't know if I'm going to do the video myself, but I would assume sometime next week. Maybe even in replacement of one of my casual uploads on Tuesday and Thursday. But if you herd manage a map, and then you go through your map with a calculator to all of your exterior zones, and calculate the average weight of every single male on your map, and keep doing that until the great one spawns. There could be a way to find out what that average weight variable is for each grind. It's just a matter of if someone's crazy enough to do that or not. Crazy is an understatement. I'm completely and totally insane, and once I herd manage one of my maps, shoot, I'd be more than willing to do it. But hey, I really do hope this video cleared up a lot of stuff for you guys. I hope I covered everything. This is a complicated topic. I hope I was as clear as I could have possibly been. Massive shout out to Mac. Yo, he's got your boy doing herd management. Did you guys ever think you'd see the light of day where Squid is doing herd management? Like, brother, what? Squid is doing herd management? Keepers, creepers, bro. Hey man, I spawned 34 great ones with no HM whatsoever. I think it's time I join the 100+ great one club. It's gonna happen. Y'all just gotta give me the chance to get these grinds HM'd. Trying to stack diamonds in my mains for bears right now, and it's just not happening. 77 kills in. Wish me all the luck down below in the comments. Sending you guys all the Squidster luck. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you did in fact enjoy this video, it would be very much appreciated if you could go down there, smash that like button, and subscribe. Like I said, we're trying to reach 50k by the end of the year. We should definitely break it and exceed it by maybe twice the amount, as long as we keep growing at the rate that we are. As always, my name is Squid. You guys are watching Squidster Gaming, and we'll catch you guys in the next banger. Peace out, my friendermans.